Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to be covering a list put out by sarcasmlol.com. We've all heard of double standards, haven't we? Well, this site put out a list of them and I'm going to point out a few flaws in that list. Now, I know this was done 6 months ago, but the Facebook page Sarcasm shared this yesterday, so I'm calling it fair game. So, apparently these 15 double standards prove we're not progressive enough. So, without further ado, let's see what they are. Number 1. Photos of shirtless men are completely normal, yet photos of women breastfeeding are considered controversial and banned from social media. Right. So, regardless of your stance on breastfeeding in public, I think we can all agree that these two things are simply not the same. Pictures of shirtless women are considered controversial, whereas the same is not true of pictures of shirtless men. That's the double standard. Ladies, if you feel like getting your fun bags out for a quick photo, believe me, I'm not going to stop you. And in the effort of equality, I don't think anyone else should either. However, when we talk about breastfeeding, this comparison falls down. I'm pretty sure most people will be uncomfortable with a picture of a baby sucking on a guy's nipple. I know this is obviously not the same because men don't lactate, but it's a lot closer to mirroring breastfeeding than just saying topless men. As these two things aren't the same, I've got to say that number 1 is certainly not a double standard. Number 2. Childless adult men are totally normal, but that is not true of adult women. I've got to ask, has anyone ever actually said the words burn the witch when talking about a woman without kids? Because that would be hilarious. People are used to seeing kids with their mothers more often than their fathers. Sure, I mean, men are more likely to be working while the mother looks after the kid, and if there's a custody battle, the mother is going to win the vast majority of the time. But has anyone actually questioned it when a woman doesn't want kids? Seriously. I mean, I may be totally wrong here, and this actually does happen, but I've never actually encountered anyone who's surprised by a woman who doesn't want kids. Number 3. A man who speaks his mind is a leader. A woman is bossy, aggressive, and arrogant. My, I think you've got that one backwards. I thought it was a woman who speaks her mind is strong and independent. A man is mansplaining. Maybe I'm the only one who wants women to talk as much as me, but I've never heard anyone describe a woman as bossy or arrogant for talking. If you sit there telling men that they can't talk without mansplaining, or that racism only works one way, you know, if you're that kind of feminist cunt, like Sister Outrider, then at that point you'll be labelled aggressive and arrogant. But, and maybe this is just me not being old enough to remember actual inequality, I've never known a woman to be called bossy or arrogant for giving her opinion in a polite manner. Number 4. Woman, good with kids. Man, paedophile. Now I'm not going to argue against this one, because it does exist. Andrea Leadsom, the woman running against Theresa May to replace David Cameron last year, stated that men shouldn't be allowed to babysit because of this. Thankfully, the vast majority of people are smart enough that they questioned her on it, though. Number 5. Sexualizing Emma Watson is okay, but you can't sexualize Daniel Radcliffe. I've never heard anyone ask that you don't sexualize Daniel Radcliffe. And I mean, if you look at the comments about Matthew Lewis now, the guy who played Neville Longbottom, it's quite obvious people who are going to sexualize whoever they want to sexualize. Maybe I'm just hanging around with the wrong people and there's actually a giant movement of people who are opposed to Daniel Radcliffe being sexualized, but I've never heard anyone complaining about men being sexualized. Wait, is that a double standard right there? Whenever a man is sexualized, no one cares, but if a woman is sexualized, everyone starts talking about it and condemning it. It sounds like a double standard to me. Number 6. The differences between men and women in action films. Alright, are you fucking serious? Have you seen Kill Bill? Even Natasha Romanoff gets dirtied up in the Avengers films. But then again, are you arguing that women should get the same treatment in action films? Do you not remember when X-Men Apocalypse got a ton of hate for thinking women could be in fights? Filmmakers have to be extremely careful with what they show women doing and the injuries they're seen getting, because if they get too equal to men, then the filmmakers are misogynistic women beaters, and if they're not seen fighting in the same way that the men fight, they're portraying the women as weak. It's impossible to please people on this issue. Number 7. Fuck those skinny bitches. Yeah, I actually totally agree with this one. We either accept the extremes or we condemn them. If it's okay to be obese, it's okay to be stick thin. And if it's not okay to be stick thin, it's not okay to be obese. Personally, I prefer the latter argument. But fuck me, right? It's so shitty of me to wish people were healthier. I'm the bad guy for not just nodding along and telling the fat people that they're beautiful while they're taking years off their life with a bad diet and lifestyle. Number 8. Armpit hair. Again, I might have missed something, but I've never known armpit hair to be considered sexy on a man or a woman. I know that women with armpit hair get a rep as feminists, but I was under the impression that it was considered weird for guys to let it grow continually too. Number 9. Guys can't have long hair. I don't think I've ever noticed anyone getting kicked out of anything for having long hair, but I have seen guys being the butt of plenty of jokes for it. But at the end of the day, who cares? It's hair. I mean, most people are more bothered about their own than what anyone else is doing with theirs. Number 10. Smoke breaks. Now I've literally never seen this. Everyone has always gotten the same amount of time for breaks. When I've worked in shops, in offices, in schools, maybe I've missed something, but no colleague I've ever had that smokes has gotten this free bonus break. However, even if they had gotten this free bonus break, that wouldn't really be a double standard so much as an inequality between smoking and non-smoking people. Number 11. Prisoners aren't allowed to vote, but they're still taxed. Well, I imagine that they're still taxed to try and pay for their incarceration. And would you really want prisoners voting? Paedophiles influencing how education policies change? Murderers influencing how healthcare changes? Thieves influencing the police policies? Because I think that sounds stupid. I think it sounds really fucking stupid. Number 12. Superhero reboots. So, Elektra didn't get a reboot, but Daredevil didn't get one for over a decade. Catwoman got a big role in The Dark Knight Rises after her film flopped, and Supergirl got her own TV show after her film flopped. I mean, Spider-Man, Batman, and Superman are the only 3 guys that have continually gotten reboots, and Batman and Superman were over several decades. Number 13. You'd look prettier if you smiled. I was under the impression that asking people to be happy was a good thing. And if someone walked up to me and said, "You're handsome when you smile," I'd smile. Is this women complaining about people recognizing how they look again? But some women want to be recognized for how they look. Basically, talking to women is like playing fucking Minesweeper where the mines carry on moving and there aren't any numbers. We can't keep up with what we're allowed to comment on anymore. Number 14. Don't wear makeup, do wear makeup. I think that's personal preference though. If that's been said by the same person, it's probably more along the lines of, "You've got too much makeup on the Monday." Personally, I don't appreciate makeup. Some people do. It's not a double standard for people to have differing opinions though. Number 15. Breasts can sell things but not feed babies. However, in adverts, breasts are never fully exposed in quite the same way that they are when breastfeeding, so I think it's more to do with public decency for the people who do argue against breastfeeding in public. I do have to say though that most people definitely do bat an eye if you use breasts to sell things. Adverts get banned for using breasts to sell things. But then again, men get sexualized to sell things too and no one complains about that. So if you're complaining that women are sexualized in adverts, men are too, so the point is kind of moot. And if it's about the controversy over women breastfeeding in public, the vast majority of people do consider it acceptable so long as you're doing it discreetly and not drawing attention to the fact you're doing it. Having read this list, I figured I was a bit of an expert and thought I'd take a shot at adding a double standard to the list. So, Ghost in the Shell is releasing in a couple of weeks and it's come under fire for casting a white actress to play a Japanese woman. Doctor Strange was also scrutinized for using a white woman to portray the Ancient One, yet Doctor Strange didn't come under fire for having a woman play a male character. But that's gender, not race, I hear you cry. Well, never you mind, I've got you covered. When the 2015 reboot of the Fantastic Four was announced, some people complained Johnny Storm was being made black. They were shouted down as racists. So, I ask you, does race matter? Because if race doesn't matter, then the complaints about Ghost in the Shell and Doctor Strange are null and void. If race does matter, then the complaints about a black Human Torch are legitimate and no more racist than the complaints about Ghost in the Shell. Alright, that's all I have to say on this article. I hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.
Souvenez-vous l'endroit où vous vous sentiez le plus en sécurité, le plus confortable, le plus aimé. Cet endroit n'existera plus jamais. Resident Evil 4.